Well, welcome to the journey. My name is Kevin Polky, and I am excited about today's episode because we have not had a guest on the show for a few weeks. And today we have Shawn Nisius, correct? Like
Yes.
vicious and sometimes delicious, is going to be joining us today to share with us a little bit of his story, but then even more importantly, share about what he is engaged in and what he's got involved with as of recently because of some tragic things that have happened in his life. But Shawn, before we get started into your story and what you're doing right now, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do for fun? What do you do when you have some time off of work and off of drill and things like that?
I love oh Jesus. There's been a lot. I love playing video games. I love playing basketball, football, working out, stuff like that. Uh so what I do for work is I do Instacart, which I work I'm an independent contractor with them, and I deliver groceries to people. And for the past like 3, 4, 5 weeks I've been focusing a lot on this ride and everything else. So like I well, that's more to talk about later. But yeah, it's pretty much some of the fun things I like to do. I love motorcycle riding. I love writing. It's a big thing to me, and it means a lot to me. And it's probably one of my inner pieces that I have within myself. And uh, you always see me out there. I have two flags on the back. Well, sometimes I'm trying to cut back on that, but I got I could fly through 2 3x5 flags off the back of my motorcycle, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
uh, yeah. I don't know. I One thing about me that I find fun doing is I have a passion with like touching people's hearts and giving my time and effort and with that, and it just means a lot to me. And I would say I wouldn't, if I was able to do this the rest of my life and not make any money, I would be fine with that. And that wouldn't even bother me.
Okay. Well, great. Well, thank you. Well, tell us a little bit about how, when did you get introduced to motorcycles and how that all, your love for motorcycle and love for riding, how did that all start?
Ooh, I got a little story for you. So my first motorcycle was a 2005 Honda 250cc. I forgot what the Honda Rebel. There it is, Honda Rebel 250cc. And so I had my first motorcycle ride, or my my not my first motorcycle ride, but my test for at the location down in on East State for the buildings to take those tests. And I actually, when I came up to do the driving portion of it for my motorcycle, I actually, because I was too tall for the Honda Rebel, my knees were touching the kind of almost touching the handlebars, and I laid down my bike before even taking the test. It was so funny. And I went on and passed the test and everything like that. But other than that, like right after, like a week after I got that motorcycle, I was like, I am jumping straight up to a 1200. I can't handle a little 250cc. And that as soon as I dropped on that 1200, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I felt the power. I felt the fun with it.
Sure, sure. So, and how old were you when you took that first test? When you first got your
Mm,
license?
about 19, 20.
Okay,
I'm 23
gotcha.
now.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. And are you from the Rockford area? Where'd you go to high school? Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I lived in Rockford for about 14 years. I went to John Nelson Elementary. I went to Lincoln Middle School, and then I went to Harlem High School for my high school years. Uh, Harlem was amazing. I can't lie. It was a fun time, and we got through. I was like honors AP courses. I love math. I'm a very math type whizzy type of person. I actually went into mechanical engineering, and actually, well, I'm about 5 classes away from my mechanical engineering. But 2 years ago, I got hit really badly with a relationship, and it hurt. And I had to drop out of school. And my love for mathematics, I've completed all calculus courses, and I'm thinking about possibly becoming a math teacher maybe. I would love to teach calculus. That's probably one of the ones I would love to teach. Other than that, I might still pursue my mechanical engineering degree, but I'm still working on that. I just need to get back into school. So I've been pretty much this last 2 years, I've been focusing on myself and getting to that level of life where you're just completely happy, and I've been dealing still dealing with some stuff, but I know I can get through it because I have the links in the community and stuff like that, and that's a big thing that I would love to talk to you about, and why I'm bring like you to my ride, and we got like 5 other foundations on top of you that are going to be at this ride, and this ride is just going to bring light to all those foundations that need that light.
Sure. Well,
Either.
why don't we jump into, yeah, tell us a little bit about, now you talked about being in the military, and
Yes.
so excuse me. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, when did you get in the military? What is your job in the military? Tell us a little bit about that, and then tell us a little bit about what kind of about this event coming up and this ride and what you've been doing for the last couple weeks. So yeah, fill us in on all that.
Okay, so I enlisted in the Army National Guard at 17 years old. I've been worked so my MOS that I'm a 12 Bravo combat engineer. Uh, Pretty much we get to blow stuff up, which is a fun living. I've got worked with any amounts of explosives and stuff like that, and it's been an exciting time. Uh, I've been in my unit for about 5 years, I believe. It's coming up August 12th is my ETS date, which is my 6th year in the Army National Guard. I'm still decisional about what I'm going to do. I know I'm going to probably stay National Guard or reserves, and probably I'm thinking about possibly switching over to 88 Mike to be up here in McChesney Park. Uh, Other than that, that's still decisional right now. I'm taking some time because I've been so on this ride and stuff like that. I just need, probably after this ride, I need to take a real time to sit down and think to myself what I'm gonna do, because my whole career, and I got a very great passion with this and what I'm doing right now. What was the other question?
Uh,
Um,
well, tell us a little bit about. So that's the military background, and obviously
yep.
you've been doing that now. We're coming up on. It's been 5 years, so you've
Uh-huh.
been involved with the military and with the guard, and that's a weekend a month, right?
Yes. 2 weeks
Then
in the summer.
2 weeks in the summer. Okay. And so as that has, and there's a and for a lot of individuals, men and women, there's this brotherhood or sisterhood many times will be the experience that people that share with me that they've had, regardless if it's regular army or the Marines or whatever branch it is, or in the reserves or the guard, seems to still have that experience. Maybe not for everyone, but the ones that do more than just their time, there seems to be that bond. Maybe just tell us a
Yes.
little bit about what that's been like for you.
So I'm gonna admit, like, starting off when I was in my unit and stuff like that, I started off really well, and then I started to go very, very downhill and downhill and downhill and downhill. And uh I got to a point where just like I wasn't able to talk to too many people, and like I kept to myself and stuff like that because of the situation I was going through around that in that 2 years, and then that I had a relationship for and stuff like that. Uh but I just got through it, and then once final well, I mean I seeked out help uh with my unit because the depressing thoughts and everything really, really got to me. And sorry.
It's okay.
um but but other than that, I knew I had people looking out for me, and as soon as I came out about my thoughts and stuff like that, uh I got help that I needed. It got a little worse, and I'm not gonna explain what it got worse to, but sorry.
You're doing fine, man.
But yeah, and then I got to a position in my life. Well, actually, I finally, like December of 2019, I finally got into a therapist for my pretty much demons that I was dealing with, and I like did that weekly for about a good month or two. Uh Growing up, I had a very passion of working and working really hard because possibly with this last relationship I had, I almost had a baby with.
Mm.
And I was not playing around because like I if it's me, I want to be there for my child. If it was it, so, but it came out not to be my child. I had to go through the whole taking her to court and stuff like that to find out. And I was just not having it, because like I mean, one time in August, I think it's August 2020, between August and September, I literally did not know who I was. I was sitting there very, very depressed and not knowing after the baby was born and stuff like that. I was just not knowing where I was in my life and stuff like that. And finally, that gave a little light when I found out it wasn't my child, and was able to move on from there. And so then coming up to September, October of 2020, I I forgot which day it was, but I got a call from um, my friend and another friend and comrade that, well, let's go first part of the day. First part of the day, I finally got off medical clearance from the military for my issues and stuff like that. And uh, I tried to, and then that same day, my friend and comrade called me and said, we lost a brother. We lost we lost a friend, and he was my team leader. And it that night sped out of control. It was a very bad night for me, especially like I had a person that I was very close to walk out on me that night, and I haven't really shed light onto that. And it's one thing I deal with today that I'm trying to deal with. uh but other than that, yeah, next week was the little get together. I thought to myself, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do for the family? And then the week, I think it was like October 22nd, I holded the first annual ride of the suicide awareness and prevention ride. That really it was called This One Is For You. And it really meant a lot to me because I mean, I only had a week to prepare for it, and we only got about 13 bikes to go out to this, and it was like a ride by their house, and just to support them and stuff like that, and to help out. Uh, yeah, and then like I just literally right after that ride, I literally just dived myself into work, and worked like extensive hours with Instacart, like working like 70, 80 hours a week out in Chicago, and just really trying to drown out the pain of what happened. And it was bad. It was, well, I didn't realize it at the time because I was just trying to do what I needed to do and pay off all my bills and stuff like that. And I was so focused on getting out of debt and stuff like that. And I came very close. I had to go a little bit because once COVID hit, I was like $600 away, and then COVID hit, and I had a month to get the rest. But we're getting there. But and then like coming up to when I had to pretty much coming up to the time of the event, or time when I started this event on May 29th for Never Forget the Fallen. Um, I was working very, very hard. I was around that, actually the next week after, or actually, yeah, next week after that COVID hit me. or I think it was like April 1st or 2nd. I didn't get diagnosed till like April 12th. And like that time, all I was just doing to occupy my time was like playing video games and also posting this ride and getting this ride out there and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and just getting light to this amazing ride that is gonna, one thing, touch a lot of people's hearts and a lot of people's um and it's gonna bring, so like just going on this ride personally, it's gonna bring light to that, as I say, that little darkness that people have within themselves that they deal with from someone doing this to themselves. And it's going to bring that little light into them for to shine and to just give a give an overlasting impression that will, every single time this ride comes along, every single year, that person will be in your heart. And that's what the pretty much the whole purpose of this ride is, to just bring light to that situation. And I mean, especially with the 6 foundations out there that I've talked to a lot of people, like you know, like one, of course, you, Shatter of Our Silence; two, Tommy Corral Foundation; three, Marshmallows Hope; four, Bravehearts, which is horse therapy. They're out in Poplar Grove. Let's see here. We got the Greg Lindhartma Foundation. We got Alan J. Forgot the last name Foundation. um, and then what else do we have? What else do we have? Because there's 6 of them. 6 of them. We got Mission 20. Oh, Canines for Veterans. Canines for Veterans is going to be out there. That's another great foundation. I think I named all 6 of them. If I'm missing,
yeah, those are 6 of them. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so, awesome.
So just to kind of, you're right. Those first 4, right, that you talked about, obviously Shatter Our Silence, that I started 5 years ago, similar to yourself, was in response to my son's had three individuals in his high school graduating class that died of suicide, and then so that was really in that same vein of what happened with yourself. It sounds like, is that I knew that I had to do something more than just being a counselor. And so I reached out to Xavier at the time. Tommy was one of the 3 that died. That was in my son's, in Caleb's class, and reached out to her. And we didn't really know she had the Tommy Corral Foundation just getting started at that time. And this was just we were looking just for an event. And then with the stuff that I do in the schools, it became more than that. And Laura, Gabriella, who is the Marshmallows for Hope, she's actually on my board of Shatter Our Silence now.
I'll be meeting with her tomorrow.
Yep, and she's going to be a great lady, great story, a lot of passion, very similar to yourself. I have one of my counselors, Lexi, works for Bravehearts and does the equine assisted psychotherapy out at Bravehearts.
Meeting with Amber.
Okay.
Amber?
Okay. Yep, Amber. Yep, and I don't know Amber as well. I've know of her, and and then I am one of the counselors for the Lindmark Foundation. So awesome. I work with first responders that way. So I'll have to look forward to meeting the other 2 foundations on the 13th. But so this idea, so it sounds like what I'm hearing you say is this particular ride is about raising that awareness, and similar to the walks that we'll hear, for that aspect, because I know for me, in my experience, when we have these events, when there is an opportunity not only to come together and have resources kind of like the ones we just talked about, but being able to come together and have some form of movement, it helps. I believe it's a critical part of the healing process and the grieving process.
Yeah.
And so we talk about this idea of when someone is in that darkness and that darkness starts messing with their thinking. There's a lot of different reasons why that may happen. Maybe it's a chemical imbalance from depression, or maybe it's a response to, like you were sharing, a response to a breakup. or a response to a relationship that got derailed, right?
It's not
And
really. Let me correct you on that. It's
okay,
not because of the relationship.
okay,
The whole reason I did this is like when I was in my darkest times, I talked to my friend and comrade about this situation, and I cannot thank him enough for what he did for me and being there for me. And that's my drive and that's my motivation. That relationship wasn't,
yeah,
but the fact that he was there for me is the reason why it drives me and motivates
yep,
me,
yep,
because I can't thank him enough. And I still feel to this day like I can't do enough. But I want to do more, and
yep,
that's the whole portion of that. I just wanted to correct you a little bit
yep,
on that.
yep. Oh yeah.
Not meaning to butt in or anything like that.
No,
No.
no, 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 no. Thank you for the clarification. Yeah, that's what I was. You, that whole situation with the relationship was what put you in that darkness that led
Yes,
you to reach out to your friend who then was there for
yes,
you, that put light
yes,
into your darkness. and
yes,
and then this is a way for you to kind of pay it forward. That's what I understood when we
yes,
talked the other day, is that this is your way of kind of, you're trying to offer not only a tribute to him, but then also recognize that if this can be a light to somebody in the midst of their
yes,
darkness, or your story about
yes,
what happened to you and what you did and what someone did for you in the midst of that darkness, well, maybe someone can do that for someone else.
yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
And I mean, even if we touch one heart with this
yep,
with this ride, that's one heart that's at least healed,
yeah,
and it's about the awareness. It's about the what can we do. It doesn't matter how big the event gets. It doesn't matter how crazy the event gets. It's about the awareness and how far we get this into the community.
sure,
And it takes all of us. It takes all of us to do this, to take our part, our fight, our time to do this. And one of two things can come out of a suicide, which it's very hard saying that word. One, you can hold it, pent up the emotion inside and leave it and drown out the pain every single day. But one thing with that, it will catch back up to you, and it will take you over, and it will get you into a standpoint that will even be worse than the standpoint you have. And always it's a good resource to search out for help, to search out for someone in the community. And that, like I said, this is what's good it's going to do to get that help and get that need for to settle those demons or that reaper within inside your soul that is destroying you. As my friend said, Todd, he's a great car guy. He has 4 autoimmune diseases, and I've been doing 22 push-ups every single day since May 22nd to raise awareness to the 22 veterans a day that lose that silent battle. And he is on has like these walking crutches and stuff like that. And this man, I am so proud of this man and what he did. He posted a video of doing 22 push-ups on those crutches off his car. That is pure motivation, pure determination, and I can't thank that man enough for doing what he did, and for raising, and as he said, for that reaper, that comes inside your soul, that really destroys you inside. Now, because he got past it and seek the help that he needed to, that he can, once that reaper comes back around, he can give that man a hug and know that he can settle within his soul, that he is able to know that he is needed in society, that he is needed by the people around him. And that's the biggest thing about this, is just leaving this reaper in the dust and being able to come back and just hug him, you know?
mhm,
And it takes all of us. It takes all of us to make this change. We're not going to necessarily get we're not going to end suicide. And it's hard to, but we can take an impact in this community that no one has seen. And as I put it, I want to put a wildfire through Rockford, through McChesney Park, through everything. And this is the whole reason for this. And it sucks. It sucks. When this happened, it sucks. But there are people that will be here. There are people that will understand your story, talk to you, and know who you are as a person, and understand and see that you are down and seek help for you. Don't let your story end. Don't let your story end because you're dealing with this. That's the biggest thing. Don't let your story end. And that's what I want to leave a lasting impression on. Don't let your story end, because you are valuable, you are meaningful, and I don't care. I will try to talk to as many people as I can. I will drop whatever I'm doing if this happens, to talk to someone, to understand their story and understand where they're coming from. And yeah, sorry.
No. You're spot on. You know, it's I'm doing some research right now, and looking into some research when I do a lot of my talks on education, because you're 100% right. It is this idea of how do we raise awareness about this silent thing that takes. You know, it's the second leading cause of death for young adults. You know, 10 years old to 25-year-olds, right? And it's the 10th leading cause across across all ages, right? And we don't, just recently in the last few years we talk about it, but before that we never talked about it. And still it's this thing that even mentioning the word suicide or educating people about small things, like people die by suicide, but there's other reasons that led them to that darkness.
Yeah,
And one of
exactly.
the, it can be a result of trauma. It could be a result of sexual trauma, trauma that has been from a either an accident or from combat, or there's a handful of different things. Or it could be in response to something, because I'm doing this research on the impact of loneliness,
Yeah,
and loneliness is such a subjective internal thing, right? You know, and that then plays havoc on depression, and then depression
yeah.
tied into loneliness, and it distorts all our thinking. um
I'm
Go ahead.
gonna be I'm gonna be honest with you. I just want to add on to that
Yeah,
loneliness
yeah.
thing.
But-
I mean, there's a lot in the past like 2 years, 3 years, I have felt lonely, and to this day, I still sometimes I feel like that. And it's okay. It's okay to be not okay. It's
Mhm.
okay.
Yep.
It's okay. Like it hurts. It hurts. It's something that's hard to battle with, but knowing people in this community that help out is the biggest impact.
Yeah.
And I still deal with it today. I still deal with my demons of my past. I still I see seeking therapy as of right now. This weekend was very hard. This Memorial Day was very hard. 2 nights ago was very hard. And it's okay to seek help too. It's okay to reach out to people as much as you can, and not create this stigma that you're, I mean, it's not a stigma really, of being lonely. Everybody deals with it. Everybody goes through their battles in life, and it takes everybody to end it. It takes, well, not end it, but prevent it, you know?
Well, and it
And
take
that's why what was that? Sorry
no,
about
I
that.
was just going to say, and I think in the midst of that cloud of depression, and then you tie into either a result of trauma or loneliness or whatever it may be, it takes a ton of courage to be able to ask someone or share your story with someone, or seek out help. And it takes a ton of courage, especially when we don't feel like we have anything in the tank to do it
Yeah.
anyways, and to
Drowns
your
you out.
yeah, and to your point, there are people out there, and it may not be the first phone call or the second or even the fifth phone call, but eventually someone will be there to listen to your story and know that you're not alone. Yeah.
I'll give you an example of that.
Okay.
Last this Tuesday night, um, I had drill, and drill is tough on me because one thing, seeing the people that I did a 22 push-up video with second platoon from my unit, and being around that, it hurts really badly. And like when I was out in my car trying to just, I was lonely. I was like trying to figure out what, and the next thing you know, this darkness kicks in. This darkness just kicks in straight, like a wildfire, and like literally, next thing I find out, my body's numb. My body is, because, and then the anger, the sadness, and everything that came out of this. But I knew I had people that I could call. I knew that I had people that would be right there for me. I made probably about 5, 6 different calls to get to the next right person to get out and talk to me. And it was bad. It was like I was like, I couldn't feel myself. I was getting angry. I was yelling. I was upset. I was crying. It's not easy. It's not easy drowning. And I figured this out on Sunday night, that I've been drowning out my pain and drowning out my issues and stuff like that. And and it's okay to keep busy. It's okay to do stuff, and try to just put those thoughts in the back of your mind, but you still have to handle them demons. You still have to handle that destruction in your soul. And that's one thing I figured out, that I have to really understand with myself, and move on from what I'm going through in life. And yeah,
Well,
yeah,
and,
just
and, and Sean, I think I so appreciate your vulnerability and your transparency about where you're at and what's going on, because on one hand we can do uh, put together an event like this, rally people around, invite people to be involved with things like this, sharing and spreading this word about raising awareness about suicide and the factors that lead to suicide. And that doesn't, at the same time, maybe dealing with our own stuff. And I, I just recently, talked about this last week and last week's podcast about the idea that there is no finish line. This journey of life that we're on is about doing life, experiencing life, and not thinking that we're going to arrive at some given point. And and and, and there are times when we just have to put our head down and we have to get, move through something, right? But there's other times when we have to recognize, yeah, this is a long walk. I mean, I did a 14,000 foot mountain climb one time, and you don't run that. At least Kevin doesn't run that. It's just literally one step at a time, and then you might take 20 steps and have to rest because of the altitude. Um, and I think doing life, coping with demons, dealing with depression and loneliness, all those life things, it is about having a group of individuals that you can reach out to, having the courage to do what you're doing right now of sharing your story, and then having the inspiration to be able to say, how can I be a light in other people's darkness by talking about suicide, talking about the factors that lead to suicide. So Shawn, I totally appreciate everything that you're doing, and you just being able to be you and sharing your story and your enthusiasm. You got a ton of energy, man, and a lot of enthusiasm. And I imagine at times that will come and catch you sometimes on the backside, kind of like what happened Tuesday night. And that's okay, because that's part of it. That's just part of life. But that energy that you have of wanting to get this message out, that's pretty infectious. Because just how you heard about me through Clyde, a guy that I used to lift with and a guy that I used to coach with at Rockford Christian. And he's the one who linked us up, and next thing you know, there's a handful of other people that we've come to get, that we have mutual friends. So Shawn, tell us, number one, tell us about the event, and tell us how people can, tell us a little about what's going to happen that day, and when is it, and then how can they be involved, how they come out to it, and then how do they get in contact with you?
Okay. Before I even do that, I wanted to put a extension on a little bit of what you talked about, or a little bit, just a little bit before you transition in here.
Yeah.
With this whole thing, it's honor and preservation of memory. Honor and preservation of memory. That's everything to, well, like I said, and then I don't even think I told you the second one of someone who, like, the two possibilities of what happens with suicide. One, you could drown out the pain. Two, you can bring that honor and preservation of memory and make an impact to help out the family, help out the friends who have had those issues and stuff like that. And I just wanted to add that on really
Sure.
quickly, because I was
Yeah.
thinking about it, because I thought that was a really good time to let you
Yep.
know about that.
Yep.
And let all the people to know about this too. Okay, so just to go into a little bit about the rep, or actually I'll tell you pretty much everything. It's exciting. It's exciting. It's a very exciting event. It's a very, very, very family orientated event. So to start off, 10 a.m. is registration starts. So we have a car show starting at that time in the Habitat for Humanity Restore. We have a in the so registration for the bikes is going to be one booth in the back of the facility, where all the bikes will start going out at. One will be set up in front of Kago Harley Davidson, and I'm thinking about, I know I'm going to set one down there at the Habitat for Restore, and then I'm going to set one up at possibly right in front of Johnny Pancakes, and then I'm going to have people going around just getting everybody's signatures for. And that's one thing, everybody who's going on this ride that has a motorcycle, we have a 50 Jeep limit cap. We have on the back end of this, right, which is pretty awesome too. We got about 13 Jeeps signed up. We're going to get a lot more this weekend, and we're going to get whoever, because most people, motorcycle or Jeep, they tend to, with Screw City Jeep and motorcycles, they love to sign up at last moment. So so we're going to be running around with our heads cut off that day, but we'll be good. We'll be good, but it's going to be exciting. Other than that, we have a 95% police escorted ride. I have the only 5% is if they have to leave that day for something, in which I'm gonna have backup to block off those roads. Other than that, so 11:40, and this is a big thing, 11:40 is the last bike in. After 11:40, no more bikes are getting in. I mean that, and that I'm not playing with that. 11:45, my Mission 22 tribute is going to be coming upon, and I'll be doing 22 push-ups, and whoever wants to join in would be great, in front in the back with me. And then also in the background, we're going to have everybody revving 22 times in the back. And then after that, I'm going to have everybody cut off their bikes. 11:50, we're having a bike blessing from Xavier's husband,
Corey. Yeah.
Yep, Corey. And then after that, we will be having the national anthem being played by bagpipes, which I'm still working on. But if we don't get that, we have a trumpet lined up, and we have a singer too. So we got backup plans for that. We have the colors coming out from Color Guard, from I believe the Loves Park VFW. We got about 15 to 17 motorcycle clubs and groups and organizations that are listed already, that already have it on their event date. Other than that, ride starts at 12. Kickstands up at 12, no later. We will be going on a 50-mile square route south. It's literally a square, pretty much. And then we'll be maneuvering back into Keiko Harley Davidson. And then we have set up, so we have Pistol Pete and Eric Burgett, a little bit of rockin' country on a PA system in the back. Murphy's will be providing non-alcohol and alcoholic beverages. We have 2 food trucks, Cluck Stops, and I don't know what the other one is, but I know Murphy's will be providing hamburgers and like hot dogs and stuff like that. And then we also have a ice cream truck it's Grandpa's Sweet Treats, which is pretty amazing. They supposedly got some bomb shakes, which I'm pretty excited to see how that is. And then for the adults, in the square, in the orange or around the orange fencing, we're gonna have 6 sets of cornhole set up. We'll have tables and everything for everybody to sit down. For the kids outside in the field, we're gonna have pretty cool. It's a suicide awareness bouncy house. It's purple and blue for the suicide awareness symbol, which is pretty freaking awesome. We have potato sack races. We have a volleyball net. Today I'm sitting down with Amber and seeing if we could try to get 2 horses out there for kids to ride and just to take a little trot around the field out there, which I'm really working on that. Other than that, the event's gonna last till like 4:30, and we're at 50-50 raffles. We have a bunch of stuff going on with like giveaways and stuff like that, like from different sponsorships that we have, and we're at exactly 31 sponsors as of today.
Oh wow.
Which today was the last day to become a sponsor, so I have to get all the stuff over to Gina. Well, actually, that's a little surprise for everybody, but and that's going to be posted later tonight on my page. But we made a partnership of a lifetime with an amazing woman that we will be talking about. Other than that, we got 10 booths. We got 10 to 12 booths. We got 6 of them, of course, being the foundations. We have one being a cigar booth. We have Oscar Mike. We have whoops, sorry, that's playing with me. Okay, we're good. I didn't hang up this time. Cool. Last time I did. And then we have an active duty booth for the active duty Army. We have what else? We got a cigar booth. A cigar. If you like cigars, we got cigars. A cigar booth. We're gonna enjoy some time for sure. And then that's pretty much it.
So Shawn, if someone wanted to learn more about, they obviously they can play this video back again and stuff like that, or the audio back again. But if they wanted to get a hold of you, get in contact with you, what's the best way to get in contact with you, or to learn more about what you're doing with the Mission 22 and this particular event? What's the best way for people to get a hold of you, or to follow you?
Facebook, Shawn Nisius, of course, SHAWN, NISIUS. Add me on Facebook. You can get added to my page, which is Annual Suicide Awareness and Prevention Rides, which has the ride already up on it and the flyer and stuff like that, which I seen you posted the flyer earlier, so most people are gonna know about that. And then I'm still working on it, but I'm gonna have a Twitter. I'm gonna have a YouTube channel, and then I'm working on Instagram too. So Perfect. Those are soon to come. So
okay. Perfect. Well, Shawn, I totally appreciate again. I can't thank you enough for what you're doing, and just for you to have the courage to be on this, on this show today, and then and share a little bit of your own story, and then what your friend did for you when you were in that darkness, so that you now want to give back and want to be able to be a light in others' darkness. So, Shawn,
Exactly.
I appreciate everything you're doing, and I'm looking forward to the event coming up this weekend on the 13th of June, at Kegel's Harley Davidson, and on Perryville in Rockford, Illinois. Perryville and Harrison, and looking forward to it. And hopefully, we'll have a ton of people out there, and you'll have a ton of support, not just for this day of this event, but ongoing. Because I agree with you. Together, we all together we can prevent suicide. So, Shawn,
Okay.
thank you for being with us, and
And there's a couple more things. Can I say a
yeah,
couple more things?
sure.
I don't think I talked about Mission 22. Mission 22 is a nonprofit that we're donating to. They're in the fight for veteran suicide awareness. If I could I make a couple shout outs? Are you fine with that?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
So our three big sponsors, I want to shout out and thank you to Windsor Pizza Parlor, Fire Department Coffee, and Murphy's, especially with Wolfpack. And I would love for everybody to show up June 12th. I am getting inaugurated into Wolfpack,
Oh, nice. All right.
and I am becoming a Wolfpack member. They mean a lot to me. They're definite brothers. They're definitely amazing people. Come down to Murphy's and get to know them. And then also possibly, I'm still working on, if I get the license, we might be running a poker run June 12th to thank all the bars that are on my sponsorship, which we got about 15, and we're holding a 3 set poker run possibly if we get the licensing. And
Sounds good.
that's June 6th, 6 p.m. at Murphy's Pub and Grill. And it might be a little rain. I don't know if it's gonna be rainy or not, but you don't have to have a motorcycle or anything. So
So that's June 6th, you said?
no, 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 no. June
June
12th.
June 12th.
June
Okay,
12th.
June 12th. Okay,
Yep.
perfect. All right, Shawn. Well, I appreciate everything that you're doing, and looking forward to the 13th. So,
All
all right,
right.
my friend. Again, thank you guys for listening, and thank you, for just being here during this time period, hearing Shawn's story, hearing what he's trying to do to bring a light and bring hope into individuals that struggle in that darkness and struggle with suicide. As always, take care of yourself and share this message with someone who you think might need to hear it as well. All right, see you next week.